Hey, happy day. So this morning when I went for a walk, I walked past, it was load shedding, and I walked past a water pump station and it was making a hell of a racket. And the following thoughts crossed through my mind. Gosh, the people who live here must be very unhappy about that loud sound from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning when they are trying to get their last bit of rest before the working day starts and life gets busy and they are desperate for rest. And so I was thinking about how people, for example, those people who chose to live there, how they, now that they're in the environment, discover that there are all these things that perhaps they didn't know about, and then it makes them unhappy. And so what they do is, instead of saying, oh gosh, I made a mistake, or I need to change my environment because that makes me unhappy, or gosh, I'm going to have to get used to that in order to be content living here, what happens is they start fussing. They complain to the neighborhood uh, complaint group and the urban improvement people and to the council and to the government and to everybody. So instead of owning and changing their own actions and owning their choices and the consequences thereof, they're now projected onto everybody else. And it got me to thinking about, because mirroring and reflecting and personal truth have been the main themes over the last 4 weeks. And the new moon was intense, which is last night, which is why I'm awake so early and out and about. There's a lot of energy and a lot of clearing and releasing going on, and it all fits together with the theme. So when it comes to personal truth and owning it, it's a bit. I was thinking about the word surrender with releasing. So in order to release, you have to surrender to whatever it is that you feel resistant towards, because that is the form of accepting, lovingly accepting the truth and forgiving oneself. So there actually is a process, and it has to do with, so in the word surrender, I don't really like the word surrender. So I was thinking of synonyms that I could harmonize myself better with that concept. And the words we use affect the narrative. So the word that came to mind was succumb. Perhaps what one needs to do is succumb to the reality of one's personal truth, and through that, our owning it is where we accept it and forgive ourselves for whatever it is that we have found ourselves to have abandoned or neglected or rejected or ostracized, or denied, or whatever it is we have been doing to ourselves, but yet blaming others. And that's why it hasn't resolved, because things won't resolve until you realize how you are a part of the equation. And unless you either remove yourself from the equation or change the equation, the outcome, the sum result will be the same. So, and there are many ways to um, dance to the same tune. I wanted to say skin a cat, but that seems not in accordance with where we are with higher consciousness and ascension and awareness these days. So perhaps there are many ways to dance, different ways to dance to the same tune would be a better way to, or another way to change the narrative. So, what we really do need to do is crucify ourselves and have a court hearing and really go into the ugly parts where we constantly self-sabotaging, where we hang on to bad habits, where we are fixed on things that do not serve us. Sometimes we are fixed on things that do serve us, even though they are not positive, as long as we have an awareness. Oh, my wake up alarm is just gone, 5:55. So sometimes we have this awareness anyway. So you take yourself to court and to account, and you present the facts to yourself. So let's create an example. um, I am fat. So instead of constantly being upset with fitter, more attractive, more people who you desire, wish to look like, instead of being upset with them that they look like that, but yet you keep on eating crisps, biscuits, drinking, not making healthy choices or better choices. So you own that. You look in the mirror and you say, okay, I'm fat. It is what it is. And then what you do is, and that's you crucifying yourself, because you're now having to really look at yourself in a very real, raw, uncomfortable way and address what you like and don't like. And then what you do is you have a choice. You can either punish yourself, so you will continue to do self flagellating and self sacrificing and self sabotaging things, or you will choose correctional services, meaning self care. You'll choose a plan of action, even if it's little steps, one change until you get used to it, and then you add in a new one and start with the easiest one. So if getting up and walking first thing in the morning for you is achievable, then you do that. You have a non-negotiable where you walk for 20 minutes every morning, within an hour of waking up. Or perhaps it's choosing to wake up an hour earlier so that you've got time to meditate and journal and read. Or perhaps, the first one where you go for a walk, you perhaps have a pet, a dog, who needs a walk. And so you will not only be serving your needs, but you will be checking a few extra boxes. So then you also at this point acknowledge you have already failed. You're already a sinner. And so your chances of sinning and failing again are pretty good, pretty high. So you create an action plan, and what tactical maneuvers is what I wrote down, so that when you find yourself in that crisis or triggered state, instead of just responding the way you normally do, which would be like, fuck it, I'm fat anyway, I might as well just eat a bag of crisps and some ice cream. You're going to do that because that's what you've been doing to get to where you are now, and it's been disagreeable, the result, the outcome. Unfortunately, often the outcomes of our choices only reflect much further into the medium and longer term rather than the short term, and we live in denial in the now, and eventually we have to deal. The short term and the medium and longer term actually become the now, the short term. So if you can live with the awareness of the future is what you are creating now, then you can understand that your choices now will affect and effect the future outcome. So you have to action it here and now if you want change. Again, sometimes our bad habits and our bad choices work for us. Our strengths and our weaknesses are the same. It's all about balance. Maybe you love chocolate, but maybe a slab of chocolate a day is overkill, whereas perhaps just 4 blocks would you would be giving yourself what you wanted. However, you're just doing it in moderation and with discipline, and with that comes achievement and success. So there really is, with this new moon, the opportunity to release through succumbing, through loving forgiveness of ourselves and how we have abandoned ourselves. And instead of paying attention to the here and now and inputting and investing in the serving ourselves in the right way, we've been angry and upset with our environment and with others. And you can't impose your will on others, and you can't tell others what to do and say. That is very narcissistic. So you can only and you won't change anything that way. You can only influence and change yourself. So if you find that there are things that you want to change and let go of, this new moon will find that it is a pivotal time for that. So whatever choices and seeds you plant now will bear good fruit for you in the future. And if you choose better company, and if you choose better environments, and you choose better for yourself, and you act more lovingly to yourself, you generally are happier. Like me, happy little fucker. And when you are that, a happy little fucker, that means that everyone around you, you become the light and the love. And it's really not very hard because you lead by example. So, could we all stop projecting and with this new moon consider it the opportunity to be the phoenix and rise from the flames of our suffering and fly. So, namaste in the cash. Happy